What's going on, everybody? Sean Daniel here with Guitar Control, and today we're going to put together maybe a couple chord voicings that some of you haven't seen before, because I think it's a really cool musical way to practice and maybe get your fingers moving in some shapes and directions that they aren't used to. So make sure to click the link below, because I'm going to tab out everything we're doing here. It's only going to be 4 chords, but these 4 chords are chords that I don't totally see together a lot depending on the type of genre of music you listen to, but they all sound really good together and they can be used in any single key. And it's going to sound like this. So I think this is a really cool kind of concept, and maybe if you haven't done a lot of these extended type chord voicings, to really get moving around, because there's shapes that are very, you know, if what you do is just kind of like rock out the bar chords and the open chords and stuff, it's really kind of like an alternative to doing those kind of things and just getting your hands moving in different ways and maybe exploring new territory in the fretboard that you haven't been familiar with. So what we're going to start off with is this going to be this, it's going to be this D major 9 chord. Okay, now the way to play this is put your middle finger on the root note, which is the 5th fret of the A string. This is your D. You're going to have its major 3rd, F sharp, the 4th fret on the D string. Your pinky is going to grab the 6th fret on the G string, and your middle finger is going to grab the 5th fret on the B string. So, again, it's almost kind of like the way that I think of this chord is if you take these 2 fingers away and you're left with this is kind of like the beginning of like a G major chord, right? So there. And then if you take your other 2 fingers, it's really that same thing. It's just like almost like another G major chord, just using these 2 kind of stacked on top of each other. So, a position that maybe you've never tried before, maybe you have. You know, if you have, more power to you. The nice thing about this, and we're going to pick through it, I'm just doing this finger style, like that, like thumb, index, middle, ring. You could easily just go down the line with your thumb, with a pick, however you want to do it. But the cool thing about this is you can move your middle finger from the A string to the low E string, and then we get another chord. This is a major 6 chord. A criminally underutilized chord right here. A major 6. Everything stays the same. You just go back and forth between this. You can even open up the A string in this particular voicing, but a lot of what I want to do is make these movable shapes. So if we're just doing these 2 chords, just go practice back and forth between those 2, and then you can move it. Wherever your middle finger ends up, that's going to be the root note of the chord. D major 9 to A major 6. C major 9 to G major 6. Again, the G being the 3rd fret on the E string. You can go higher. So right here, the 7th fret on the A string. E major 9 to B major 6. F sharp to C sharp. Whatever you want to do. All movable shapes. But we want to stay in one key to make this kind of a more musical thing. So, the next thing we're going to do is add 2 different minor chords. This one, and this one. Okay, so this first one is going to be rooted on the 7th fret of the low E string. It's going to be a B minor 11 chord. Impress your friends. Middle finger 7E, ring finger 7D, pinky 7G, pointer finger 5B. Again, great chord. Any minor chord can become a minor 11 chord and stay in the same key. Right? And so we can move this around. But by the time we get to this next note, this 9th fret on the E string, the C sharp, I want to switch the ring finger and your pinky by going down a string each, and take your index finger and come up to the D string. And now we have a minor 9 chord. This is the name of this. You know, if you don't remember the names of the chords, that's fine. Really, the shape is what's more important right now, and guitar just kind of makes something kind of sound musical, right? And again, still, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just picking through it. These 2 chord voicings, I'm skipping the A string. I'm going E, D, G, B, or E, D, G, B. The nice thing about these 2 shapes is they can kind of be interchangeable to a certain extent. Maybe just something like that, like keeping your middle finger planted and having your other fingers move around like that. almost be kind of like a finger twister at first if you haven't gotten it done. So the whole exercise is going to sound just like that, one at a time through these 4 different chord voicings. The first one, the second one, third one, fourth one. And again, the names: D major 9, A major 6, B minor 11, C sharp minor 9. And you don't have to pick them out like that. You can kind of, strum them. This is going to be in the key of A. Again, as far as like the keys and all that stuff, it's great to know, but it's not really super necessary as far as just jumping into something and learning a new shape, because I think a lot of times we kind of get stuck in like the same patterns of playing maybe similar songs that always kind of have, the same kind of chords going on, which is great, not taking anything away from that, but you might kind of find yourself, I don't know, not being motivated to practice and try new things. So that's why I think it's really important to always try new chord voicings and then put them together in a way that's musical instead of just like trying to switch and just drill things, okay? So let's do the whole thing one more time. I'll do it super slow. Start with this chord right here. And remember, I think it's really important to think of these 2 different pieces of the chord that make it up. 5A and 4D, 6G, 5E. And if you kind of focus on them in chunks like that, I think it's easier than just being like, oh, boom, ha, like that. Right? So D, middle finger, E string. I'm using my middle finger to root slide down to the next minor 11 chord. Same thing. And then so my middle finger is kind of leading the entire chord progression because I'm getting that set first and then buying the rest of my hand time to get to the right spot. So anyways, I hope you learned a couple new chord voicings. If you already knew those, great, more power to you. Just, kind of focus on putting them together, playing them in different orders, different kind of progressions. You can mix and match any of these. Really, just kind of like cool, very chill, mellow sounding chord progressions, chord voicings that maybe you haven't used before. So hopefully you learned a little bit from this lesson. If you like it, make sure to click on the other videos by Guitar Control, some of them by myself, some of them by other great instructors that we have here on the channel. Always looking forward to your feedback, so hit us up in the comment section with more stuff that you'd like to see if you want to see more lessons like this, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks a lot.